Good afternoon. I'm bringing to you 2 to 3 different topics on planning. You've got too much information in your head, you don't know where to start, you don't have the time, and you want to improve your health and wellness and eating healthy. And with the faster way, it is not hard. And so hopefully I can get through this video with no dogs barking, people coming downstairs. I'm actually not even by myself today, but I wanted to talk to you about, you have so much information, you don't know what to do. One thing is write it out. Write out what you're going to be doing. And that's what with the faster way I've learned is on Sundays is when I meal prep, or I don't meal prep like I used to when I worked, but I write out my meals for the week, make sure I have my ingredients. And one of the things with the faster way is we now have an app, and it tells you what you're eating, gives you your grocery list in the portal. Your plan is there. And guys, it does not have to be expensive. So I'm going to give y'all some of the quick things that I have in my kitchen that I use when I'm in a pinch, or especially when you start tracking your calories or your macros. And when you are practicing intermittent fasting, and we're going to talk about that next week, how you don't need to do intermittent fasting by yourself with no support and not knowing what to do. One of the things with intermittent fasting is we practice 16-8 with the faster way. And so with a 16-8, you have to eat all your food in 8 hours. And it is hard sometimes. It's hard to get those calories in. It is, you get full. You get full quicker. You have more energy. You're not hungry when you're fasting. That's the crazy thing about it. And so one of the things I do is I make sure I have stuff for smoothies. Like on low carb days, we carb cycle. I always, and this is where I've got to make sure I keep this side of the kitchen because the other side's dirty. But anyway, avocados that are frozen. You can put these in your freezer. Avocados are either not ripe or they're sold out and we don't eat them in time and they rot. So I found freezing avocados works really well, or I found them at frozen in the frozen food department. Another thing I keep on hand, this week we're having a peach smoothie, and that's what I'm going to be making for me today for meal 2, is a bag of frozen peach slices. Always have a bag of salad, because the bag of salad is so versatile. You can add your protein in, you can add your, here's another one, your quinoa, your boil a bag quinoa, or for those bowls where you need carbs, because yes, we do eat carbs in the faster way. And that comes down to adding bananas, apples, and we have the fresh avocados, your tomatoes, your fresh produce, some of the meats. If you need meats to have on hand that don't get bad, go rot or whatever, expire, that's the better word. Tuna is another good one, and I found a new favorite. Where is it at? Right here. This smoked salmon is amazing for adding to those bags of salads when you're trying to create a quick go-to meal. One of the things I do also with my smoothies is always have some type of protein. I use, where'd it go? I use the organic protein, and we do practice dairy-free. So we have the coconut milk. And another thing I found recently that tastes exactly like yogurt, I've got a mess here, so is the dairy-free silk yogurt. It's also very good to have on hand. And so these are all inexpensive things. Another thing to keep on hand, black beans. You get your carbs and your proteins from that. Always have frozen veggies. Have the riced veggies for the cauliflower on hand. And your steam bags of veggies. Those add quick vegetables to your protein, which is your meat, your carbohydrate, which is your potatoes and your rice. For that half the plate for your healthy plate needs to be your vegetables, your non-starchy vegetables. So having the bag of salad and the frozen bags of veggies is always good, and they're not that expensive. For days where we carb cycle, when we go low carb, having on hand olives, little cans of olives or jars of olives, the green olives. And I haven't figured out why they don't put black olives in a jar like they do green olives. So if anybody knows that, I'd love to know. Brazilian nuts, or nuts. Be careful with your nuts, guys, because nuts pack a huge calorie, but they are so nutrient dense. That means they have a big source of fat in them, high in calorie, but they don't fill you up. So make sure you measure. So 2 of the tools that you probably need in your kitchen when you start tracking your macros is a food scale. And so you'll see some of my posts. I post the grams or the ounces of my meats or my proteins, and a blender. You need to invest in a blender to make your smoothies. If you are going to do smoothies, you don't have to do smoothies, but I have found that does help with my planning, so I'm not having to plan 3 meals. Another thing that I do on low carb days, that means I'm trying to eat more fat and I'm trying to keep my carbs below 25 to 10%, is I add some MCT oil, which is basically some coconut oil. You can add coconut oil too to your smoothies, and then some good collagen powder. That gives you that extra protein when it is when you're trying to make sure you keep your protein in check, because you want to make sure you always eat your protein first when you're planning. That builds your lean muscles. It helps you stay full. It's your building block of your cells. So that is what I kind of keep in my kitchen. Let me see if I'm missing anything. We talked about nuts and seeds. Oh, here's another one. If you don't like having the fresh fruit, or you run out of fresh fruit, these little babies, these dates, don't get you full, but they pack that big punch of carbohydrates that you need for those days when you're trying to hit your carbohydrates. Those help me boost my carbs without adding in the extra fullness. And people sometimes question why it has sugar. It has sugar. If it comes from a whole food, a natural food, we're not worried about the sugar. So with planning all your meals out through the Fast Way, or with any meal plan that you do, it's going to take time. It's going to take you writing it out and acting on it and keeping that stock group of foods that you need in your kitchen, where you're not having to run back and forth to the store. That'll also save you time. So if you're wanting to learn about the Faster Way and what we do with the Faster Way to Fat Loss, I'm going to post my link below. Grab the free starter kit. Also in that link, I'll post the link that's going to take you to the free meal plan. Take a look at the meal plans. All this food that I showed you today to make planning easier to have on hand, this is food your family can eat. There is no special food that we tell you need to buy this, this, and this. It is food that you like, because if you don't like the food, you're not going to eat it, and then you're going to quit. So it is strictly food that you and your family will enjoy. So I'm going to put the link below. Y'all have a wonderful Sunday. I would love for you to join me January 6th for my next Faster Way round. And y'all have a fabulous week. Write out 3 or 4 meals. Start practicing. It's never too early to start. So have a great Sunday, and I'll chat at you soon.